I'd like to talk to you about the site plan of Ralph's Famous Italian Ices in Mamaroneck, New York. I want to point out a couple of hazards here which are extremely dangerous. What I've done here is I've blown up the site plan. This is Keeler Avenue, this is Frank Avenue, this is Frank Ave Extension, this is the Boston Post Road. I've also made cars to scale. Right now what we're going to do is talk about spaces number 9 through 14. We also have to establish the fact that we have an exit and an entrance. This is the only entrance onto the property. This is an exit. So these cars here are parked, pull in straight in like this. And as you know that this is an extremely popular ice cream store, and this is the main lane of traffic coming in and out of the facility. Basically, we have that lane of traffic along with the pedestrians going to the ice cream store and walking through the parking lot. One, to get to the location, and then two, to get back, which they would have to go some to the crosswalk here to get to their parked cars on Frank Ave, to get to their cars on Keeler, which they would come to here and walk across the street to get to their cars there, and onto Jensen, where they frequently park too. But you're going to notice that this is not an exaggeration. This is nightly what we see here. We have a situation where, because this is one lane, is very difficult for these cars, actually impossible for these cars to back out of their spots. What happens, and we've seen this, is, well, these people will be exiting, and they're going to have to try and cut through exit traffic, and then when this car starts to come out, this car sees that a spot is opened up. What he's going to do is actually start to back up onto Keeler. They back up onto Keeler, which then backs up Keeler to this 4-point stop. This makes a very dangerous situation because we have pedestrians walking through this lane of traffic. We have limited sight vision with all the congestion. We also have the added fact that people are going to be looking right to try and get into this, kind of non-committal, because they don't want to get caught up in here, because once they're caught in there, how are they going to get back into the flow of traffic to get out to try and find a spot someplace else? So looking right, not looking left for people exiting is a very hazardous thing. We're going to talk about spaces number 3, 4, 5, and 6 to show how this site was never ever meant for such a high trafficked establishment. So these cars, once pulled in, are pretty much trapped, because busy nights, this traffic is just going to be going in and out because these spots are fully taken. You can see that in order to get out, these cars, their only recourse is to back entirely out. And pretty much they have to do a whole almost 180 degrees to be able to try and get back out into traffic. This one, not so bad, because it could pull up this way and then up this way, but it's very tight, especially with the amount of people who go to the establishment from the surrounding streets when they park on the streets walking through here. So busy nights, a lot of congestion, very dangerous situation. These two cars, their only recourse to get out is to pretty much back entirely almost into traffic, especially with these cars as they're inching into the space. They are hedging their bets, trying to kind of see if they see something coming, and basically it's just blocking traffic even more. So they have to back entirely out to get into the flow of traffic. So you can see the congestion in this fishbowl area here, along with the people walking through the parking lot. Very dangerous. Somebody's going to get hurt. Another problem, this is the only entrance into the parking lot. So what's going to happen is that this is just going to be a flyby, because these parking spaces are going to be completely full. This is going to create such a problem with people actually going deeper into our neighborhood, going up Keeler into Jensen, deeper into Jensen, and deeper into Frank. This is going to be an eternal traffic jam, because you can see here, we have one of two options here exiting the site. We could either go to the Boston Post Road, which, if you get a couple people wanting to go to the Boston Post Road, now you have a huge traffic jam. I mean, even if this guy is just waiting at the corner, this guy wants to go, you have traffic coming up here, as we know that Frank Ave extension is used by people coming off the Boston Post Road. So this is a precarious turn. The other option being going up the Frank Avenue extension, which, as we pointed out before, this area is so congested. This area is so congested because 100% of the traffic is coming up through our neighborhood to go into this entrance here. What's going to happen is you are going to have a constant circle of traffic that is going to come up. Remember, pedestrians crossing this street here. So this is a huge hazard because I've seen the amount of traffic that comes here on a summer night and somebody's going to get hurt. Point out another serious hazard. What's going to happen is this curb cut is going to be added. So this egress is going to be eliminated, which is going to allow another couple cars to have street parking, which is going to be a serious distraction for cars coming up Frank extension, which typically they're moving at a pretty good rate of speed. And at this stop sign here, there's 4 stop signs. 85% of the cars don't stop at those signs. What the big problem here is the conflict that is going to arise between vehicle and pedestrian, because this is the route, the crosswalk for pedestrians, and not only the pedestrians going to the site, but school kids too. This is a major intersection for 3 schools that pretty much this is one of the main routes for the kids to walk home. With this limited vision or the confusion here by adding these 2 cars, and most nights this car is illegally parked on Keeler. There's always 3 cars in front of this house here, cars parked up the avenue. So you can see how this starts to get all congested, and these are just the parked cars. We haven't even gotten to the cars that are actually traveling down the road. Adding those, it presents a really serious problem. Not only for the people crossing Keeler and Frank here, but also for the people that cross Keeler here to get to their cars here and into the neighboring streets where they frequently park up deep into our neighborhoods. Another factor is that the vision here, because there's so much congestion in this area, these cars exiting, a lot of confusion, presents a serious problem with these cars exiting and these cars actually seeing them. So we foresee that to be another very serious hazard, especially due to the fact that it's not only vehicle on vehicle, but it is pedestrian vehicle.